was taking the Uber here, and one thing I always like to remind myself is that these are the good old days. Like, we're in it right now. These are it. This is it. Like, this right here. This is amazing and this is incredible. And we're gonna look back on this. Sometimes you get lost of like, I want to make it big and that and then that. And when you get there, you look back on this right here. So I always like to just remind myself, and I'm like, this is cool. This magic is what we're gonna look back on. So like, let's appreciate it and not like rush to get so big in the same way that we rush to get older. And then we're like, oh wait, no, childhood was amazing. Why did I like
Yeah.
just rush? It's like, no, let's not rush this. Let's enjoy this in this space.
I was listening to The Good Old Days by Macklemore just the other day.
Nice.
Yesterday. And I was like, yeah, no, like we're in this is that shit right now. Like we're gonna look back on this and be like, oh wow, like those times were awesome. Like, and yeah, just having that moment I've just had a lot of gratitude, a lot of appreciation lately. And I think you're exactly right, Atare. These are the good old days. And we don't realize it in the moment, right? Like the moments that I had in high school, right? My college days, basketball, my teammates, right? There's all these moments, these flickering, I guess, little sets within my life that, like, I don't know, this is one of those though. And I feel that deeply.
I think that everybody that makes it in whatever capacity, whether it's like a basketball team, whether it's in media, whether it's money, whatever your goals are, everybody that says that or like gets there, they're like, if you don't appreciate this right now, they're like, I wish I wasn't, I was in that more. Even though there's like unsureness of like, okay, well, how is the dam gonna make money and this all that, right? Sure, but that's not a source of anxiety. That's more a source of like, we're gonna get there eventually, and it's gonna be funny to look back on what we're feeling right now, being like, because of like, let's say if we're unsure about things, in the same way that could we have imagined we would be captains in the story week 1 of the dam show? That wasn't even on our radar. That wasn't even something that was in our consciousness, and then it happened. And so, yeah.
No, I mean, at 30, right? Like at 30, I'm fucking in grad school, like working my fucking ass off, right? And like at 35 now, like I'm excited for you to look back in 5 years, friend. Like I think it'll be a really beautiful journey. I think
Me too.
me and my wife went to the farmer's market earlier today, and I was like, do you remember, like, this is like in grad school, like it was just a few years ago, right? But like I didn't fucking sleep during grad school. Like it's the first time in my life I ever like drunk coffee and like it was like had to for the function, you know? And so
yeah,
this is part of that grind, right? It's a different, obviously it's not school, it's not, but we are building professionally, we're building personally, we're building in a lot of different ways, you know? So yeah, at 35, man, you're gonna look back and be like, fucking 30, man, that was a wild time. Well, 29 to 30 was fucking crazy. And then 35, you'll be able to have that, we'll all be together at that point, right? Like wherever that is, cheers, good time. Because that this 17th, the 16th, right? The fact that it all kind of comes together right around all 3 of our birthdays too, right? I think that's another beautiful thing. That, I mean, it's another connective tissue, another connective piece where we can always have these opportunities, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna get going. Okay. Welcome everybody. Welcome back to episode 11 of the Dam Show. So happy to have everybody. Today is a special day. It's a special month when you really think about it, but it is my birthday today. So happy birthday to
Happy
me.
birthday.
Happy birthday to you. I'm not gonna do the full song. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Are you 1? Are you 2?
And many more on Channel 4.
I gotta ask, maybe Netta, how's it going? How are you doing today on this beautiful day?
On this beautiful day in sunny New York City. I'm doing great. I went to see a play yesterday. I went to see Harry Potter on Broadway, and it was amazing, guys. I loved it so much. It gave me so much to think about, all of these in real life immersive experiences that we talk about. Like that was really a super high level in real life experience, and it was perfect. I really loved it. I hope one day I'm gonna see like something like that related also to an NFT project or story that is developing right now. You know which one, for example. One of the many.
We knew. Are you listening? That's the question she's asking. I'll ask for her. We knew. Are you listening?
Diamond, how are you doing on this magical day that 30 years ago the earth was blessed?
Hey, just sucking in these blessings right now. Grace to be in your presence today, sir. No, just a beautiful day out here in California. Stoked to be on the damn show, kicking it with the homies. You know, we're gonna make this happen today. It's a birthday episode. We don't get these often, right? But like the birthdays are smacking this month. So huge congratulations, huge shout out to Tare. Hope your parents are just as proud as they were this year, as they were last year, as they were 30 years ago, right? The journey you've been on this year is fucking incredible, friend. So just want to say congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. I'll speak a little bit to that. This morning I got a coffee, and I like to get my notes app on my phone, and I like to write, especially with my morning coffee. And it was just like a moment of reflection, because two things. One, 30 is supposed to be like a big year, right? It's like, oh, 30. But I don't feel 30. I feel young. I have just as much energy that I did like a decade ago. But I think with that, there's more wisdom, obviously, hopefully, right? And so that's one of the things that I think about. And then just, I think even like you said, the past year, it's now been like a full calendar year of going full time in Web3, and I'm like, man, what a blessing, and what a crazy experience. We were just on a space the other day with the biggest artist in the NFT space. Like when you put it like that, you're like, whoa, like that's crazy. How did we get here? But it's like we're here and we're making it happen. So if that's 1 year, then I'm excited for the next year, 2, and then 5 to look back at 35 on 30 and say, wow, like good for you, kid. Like took those risks and took those gambles, and you really made it happen. So just a lot of gratitude for this new decade that I'm about to embark on, and I'm so excited to be recording this today of all days with the both of you.
That's great. Like I lived that recently, so I know what it means to feel like that you are hitting that big number, that it seems so big, even if it's not, because come on, we're still young, guys. Okay, so but anyway, it feels big. It feels like you're almost not ready. Like, what is this? I still feel like, I don't know, in my early 20s, like I have the same energy, like you were saying, but we're not the same. So we think we are, but we're not the same. We're better. We are, like, you know, we know so much more about life. We know what we like and what we don't like. My problem in my 20s was that I was really fighting, and I was like so insecure about what I wanted, because I thought I wanted something, and then my life changed completely in my mid 20s, and I started doing something that it was completely different from what I was doing before. And that was crazy, because I was like, okay, so I was convinced that I liked something, but that was not what I liked. So it changed everything. Now in my 30s, I understand that I know what I want, I know what I like, and it's easier also to pick a fight to, you know, to go with, and you know, and put yourself 100% into something, because like you understand yourself better. So I'm really positive for all this decade is gonna be, for me, for you as well, because it's a great decade. I think 30s are the years where you really make happen what you want to happen in your life. So yeah, and I wish this for you, Atari, obviously.
Thank you. Thank you. I was lagging behind in my 20s on the damn show. Now we're all in the same in the same bracket now. So happy to be here, guys. Last to the door, but
and we launched Carl's comeback, right? Like,
and we
Yeah.
like we launched Carl's comeback out here at the damn show. I think what Netta just said is absolutely beautiful. Like, yeah, the journey that we've all been on, right, to this point. Like, Netta, you were studying to be an MD, and then all of a sudden decide a medical doctor, right? Like, fucking amazing out here, like changing, literally saving lives, to the point where you find a different niche, you jump into that, right? In my 30s, I was getting a degree in cannabis dabbing, right? I got a master's degree in dabbing. I was able to chase something that I love, right? And so to be on this journey where Atare is chasing something that he loves, that we get to join him in, right? Like the ebbs and flows of life, not having to live this static journey of what should be, right? It's what could be, and we're like, believe it or not, that's a fantasy reality for people, right? Especially in this day and age right now. Like, we are so blessed, y'all. I'm so blessed to be able to share your presence, to share knowledge with y'all, and to share community. Like, what we're building right now this year has been fucking mind-blowing. I wasn't on social media before this year. We're on a space the other day with Beeple. We all get our 3 characters in a fucking in a Web3 story, right? Like, how do I explain this to people that, like, my folks that don't understand? Like, it's mind-blowing, right? It literally is at a different level that I'm operating on now, even at 35, where, like, I thought when I was building policy, that was a big fucking deal. Like, what we're doing right now, we're shifting culture. And there's a lot to be said for it. It might just be within our little niche of Twitter, right? T crypto Twitter. But, like, y'all, we're out here shifting culture in 10KTF. And I think that's something pretty fucking special, to be able to see each other for the people that we are, instead of the person that's operating behind the keyboard, right? And so happy fucking birthday, friend. Happy 30th. Can't wait to see what, like I said, 35, 40. Holy shit, y'all, I'm closer to 40 already than 30. So, like, I guess a little bit of perspective in all of it. But that being said, the times and what's happening right now, you know, we say we're early all the time, but it's really hard not to feel that way when you look at it and kind of take a step back in the perspective of the last year and put time gaps in there, you know? So let's fucking go. Happy 30th. It's a great show today, y'all. And
It's a great show today. Let's get it rocking. I have to start with, we've mentioned it a couple times, but let's start with the Twitter space by Beeple. Crazy Carl did an incredible job. He had Figge. He popped Figge's cherry as well on Twitter Spaces. He did Beeple's last summer, last fall. And so Carl is on a roll. He's going to get Tim Smith next. He's going to get Guy Siri next. I can see it. He's going to get the 4 out of the way. But but with that said, that was an incredible space. I was so thankful to hear Beeple and Figge on stage together and their perspectives on what 10KTF is and what it represents. And maybe you have definitely experienced this, Diamond, you experienced this, and I have as well. When you speak to Figge in person and you get to know him and you see how he operates and how he thinks, you leave those interactions with, like, okay, I need to put more money into 10KTF because this isn't just like a side thing for him. Like, this is a really all-encompassing vision that he sees for the future, and he's carving that with 10KTF alongside his co-founders and all the amazing shopkeepers and employees that we knew. So I think that's what a lot of people probably left the space with, because I got DMs afterwards from some of my friends in Discord saying, bullish, just bought some more, and they sent me a screenshot of, like, buying a flamethrower and a crate. Because when you hear Figge speak, you're like, oh damn, okay, this person knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember having this conversation with you like maybe some months ago when we were talking about people that reach the excellence level and then the people that want to get to the genius level.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how I feel about all the 10KTF founders. It's like they all already reached the excellence in their own careers. And now the next level is to do something that it's a revolution in the world. And now it's their moment to do something revolutionary and get to the level of genius that it's above excellence. And that's really what I think when I think about Figge, Beeple, Guy Ozeri, and Tim Smith. When I think about the whole package of 10KTF, what I see, it's not excellence anymore. We're talking about genius. And a level that is even above that it's gonna revolutionize so many industries, starting from entertainment to music to, in real life events. Everything's gonna be revolutionized. So it's just, of course, I'm bullish. Yes.
And Devin, before we get to you, I wanted to add to that, in the same way that, like, if if NFTs are the future in the same way that the internet and Web 2 was the future in the 2000s, right? Then this is the field to be in, to be making an impact. And then if you're in this field, then you got to be thinking, how do I go bold and go big, and not just copy what everybody else is doing, but really think about what I think the future looks like, and then make that actually happen in a way that is different, in a way that is better. And a lot of what 10KTF is doing, it's this slow, methodical over time. We're just going to prove to you again and again that we know what we're doing. We have a vision for the future, and we're making it happen. And it's like, I feel like in 10 years, if NFTs and Web3 is what we think it is, and it gets that big, in 10 years we'll look back and we'll say we were on stage with Figge and Beeple, and they're like, oh, Figge and Beeple, in the same way that the entrepreneurs of the early 2000s are revered. I feel like that's almost like what could be happening here if Web3 and NFTs are as big as we all think it actually is in the world. And obviously I want to be amongst the greats as well in what we're doing. And so you put it beautifully, maybe Netta. Diamond, let's get to you. Thoughts and feelings about all that.
Yeah, just I don't know, like for me, like when I met Figge in New York, like the most interesting part of that, like my favorite part, honestly, was like he was just as interested to meet me as I was to meet him. Like when fucking like when Shop Barista was like, "Oh, you're Diamond Hands? Come with me. Figge's been waiting to meet you." It was like,
right.
What the fuck? Like Figge's like, I've been waiting to meet this fucking legend, the dude who's the puppet, like the puppet master of this whole fucking project that's been running it all, is absolutely incredible. And like speaking to the quality of team like that's there, like hearing each one of the shopkeepers like all talk about how like the quality of team. Shop Baristas, like this fucking team blows my mind. Like how professional everyone operates. Like, yeah, we just jump in the chat. We all have our group chat, but like seeing the way everyone gets down is mind blowing to me, where you can feel like the specialness in each one of them, right? Like they each have their own role. They know what their role is, and they're knocking it the fuck out of the park. Maybe even taking on some extra roles they didn't expect to take on at the beginning of this, when we all fucking tossed our tools back into the pot and said, let's basically consider these worthless. I know the team just worked on fucking trying to configure the value of these tools, right? Where like, shout out to Wilbur Ojiro, who did the model for the crates that like ended up within 14 crates of the total model, right? Of the 1100 that they thought that
legend
they could back into the market, right? The statistical modeling that's happening within the team, even, right? To hear that, to see the quality of professionals, to see the quality of the party, right? Like it's mind blowing. Bam Bam, like the fucking work she does, like let's not forget, like whatever's going down with Epic Games, like what she used to do, the quality of professionals that she works with in her previous realm. Y'all, this is not an artist and two devs working in the background, one community manager. That's the most beautiful thing of all this. And I think Figge tried to speak to some of that during that, and I really appreciated that. His willingness to say, it was kind of like, while we all fud the fuck out of the project, we'll copy pasta this motherfucker forever, But to hear him say, you know what, here's what we're doing for the NFT community, for the larger space with Warm, gifting this out is a public good. Here's what we've done as a project to bring Gucci in, to be able to operate with these type of professionals. Here's who we are. Like, no offense, but let me drop all our accolades on the fucking table right here. And I'll let y'all figure out what the fuck is going on in the larger space. Like he doesn't need to do any of that, right? Never has, right? But the fact that like when I looked in that space, there were 1,500 fucking people in there. Shout out Carl, like holy shit, right? 1,200, 1,500 people in there. But I also noticed 700, 900 of those people were my folk. Like I had to go a long fucking ways down that scroll to get to people that weren't my friends, like within the total chat, and that's crazy, right? And so for him to go out at that moment where like that's the first time where we've had live like real ears listening in from outside the project, and have him speak in those direct tones, it was fucking beautiful to hear. And then Beeple, I also love this part too, because Beeple's a fucking pessimist, right? Like y'all know I fucking love that dude, right? But like I'm this optimist motherfucker, right? And so like to hear him be like, oh yeah, this whole hype cycle marketing is just a bunch of bullshit in NFTs. And I'm like, well, if that's all Diamond Hands is hype cycle marketing. What the fuck is going on, man? Like, I was pumping the opium in this community for fucking 6 months, people, and you're kind of killing my shtick right now, bud. You know? But like to hear that pessimist of Beeple, right? Because he's honest. He's a really objective, honest dude. Yeah. Right? I appreciate that. I wish he was more of a fucking optimist, but I don't expect sunshine and unicorn farts from him all the time, right? Well, where you're gonna get that shit from Diamond Hands, y'all. Just know that. Okay.
I mean, to speak to that, we heard that you may not see Beeple a lot on Twitter and Discord because he's out in the real world trying to get NFTs recognized as the legitimate technology and then art class that it is. And so I'm sure like he's out there fighting a lot of battles that we don't know about. And I'm sure that We Knew is recording a documentary of some sorts where cameras follow people around. If they aren't, please get some cameras around people, because I would love to look back on like the conversations and the moments that really define NFTs 5-10 years from now, to see it happen behind the scenes and to say we were in our own capacity a part of this movement that really, what we believe is going to take the world by storm. And so even like I think what we're doing here, I genuinely think that this is so novel and interesting. People just haven't fully clued into what it is the damn show actually is doing, and the potential of what is possible here and what will happen as the months and years come down the road. And so, I mean, that you can pick apart so many parts of that Twitter space and really drill down deeper. One part that I want to spend a little bit more time on was Figge mentioning the team and the devs and the work that they do to get 10K, the 10KTF quality to people, to whether it's the smart contracts, whether it's the front end, back end, the website, Battletown, that being its own beast. There's so many moving parts to this team, and it really is just like a well-oiled machine that every week comes out and spits out like something amazing week over week over week. And maybe I want to go to you for this. It's exciting and it's fun to complement that with what we do at the Damn Live, where and I wanted to get your thoughts on how do you think that the Damn Live complements what's happening at We Knew and 10KTF every Thursday, and where do you want to see that go?
Well, we saw how our friends, our Discord friends in 10KTF are receiving our live streams, and they're kind of happy to see us showing everyone how a Thursday goes down in 10KTF. So all the things that happen. So for the people that already know what happens in 10KTF, that they already have been in the project for a while, being on the live stream is more about what Ben Mayer was saying. It's like I'm sharing this moment with my friends because he sees us and we are his friends. So it's like, okay, let me be on the Discord. Let me see what's going on with 10KTF this Thursday. But let me open also the live stream from the Damn Show because I want to experience this moment with my friends, which is us. And then there are the new people, the people that don't know what the heck is going on. And they're like, okay, so what's happening? Why now there is a new channel on Discord, and then there is this tweet, and then there is that, and then there is that. With the Damn Show, we try to show them what's happening, like with the Thursday, episode of 10KTF. We try to show how the story is going on. So, okay, guys, we just got this tweet. This tweet means this and that. Oh, look, they just added a new person in the Discord. Okay, Boss Ape. Now Boss Ape is typing in here. So we give them like the tools to understand what's actually happening in the 10KTF community, in the 10KTF story on that specific Thursday. So I feel like what we can do, to give more is like try to be as good as possible doing this, try to be specific and try to be, clear when we explain what's actually happening to make sure that people that are there for the first time actually understand what's happening. And then obviously just be ourselves and have fun with our friends when we get people in the stream, or other community members that have been important in all these months. They want to jump in, we just let them in and then comment things with them. So I feel like this is the dynamic that we're having with the Damn Live, and like I really enjoy doing the live streams. Like personally, it's very nice to see how people react and everything, and yeah, the more or less that's what I think about it. Yeah.
And it's one of those things that we didn't start the damn show to do live streams, but when the crate openings started happening, we're like, we should do a live stream for that because that's fun. It's a visual thing to do with the community. And I think we got rugged twice. The first
Yeah,
two
we
lives,
got rugged twice.
you're right, we got rugged twice, but we kept the show going anyway. And the damn live has turned into its own thing. I think to add to that,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think just to add to that, the part that I also think about is if 10KTF is like a safari and there's so much to see and there's a lot to get lost in, the Damn Live almost acts like a tour guide that walks people through a specific experience of Thursdays. And like you said, that community aspect of seeing people react to it and see their faces and emotions and join in on that, that's a lot of fun. Where I think about improvement is the technology. It's like, how do I get better technology so that we can give a more full experience? One of the things that we're going to have next week is the Discord audio from the Midori Land music is going to be playing in the back of our live stream, and I can just control the volume up and down, and so people won't even need to check the Discord music per se, because they'll have the ability to listen to that as it's happening, and we can increase the volume and decrease the volume as it's going. And so you really give them that full Discord experience where they can jump in and copy pasta, but to not feel like, oh, let me mute the damn show for a second because I want to know what clues are in the music channel. So I think there's so many things that we can really do to improve it. And what I love about the weekly cadence is that in the same way 10KTF and Renew, each week they have a production and they have a show to put on. We kind of are also now sharing that energy, because I approach each Thursday of like, we got a show to go. I got to make sure I have energy, and we have everything on lock, and the technology is good, and people are going to be coming in, and we have our guests lined up, and it's becoming more of like a regular thing, and like a fun thing on top of the Thursday that was already fun. It's like now we have our own show that we have to get ready for, and that's so cool. And I'm so excited to do just more of that. Diamond.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that we give the shout out to the OGs, right? To Abomb, who started the Thursday Spaces, who was doing the original reporting. It's really nice to have the visual aspect, right? But like original ideas are really important. And so like Abomb started those Thursday reports, like 10KTFM, what they did to get that started was fucking amazing. Building that out of New Tokyo News, trying to get all this information out, right? These community pieces are so important. And so yeah, to have them starting up at 4 p.m. every day, I know that that's a conscious thing on their part to try to give that space. And so I want to say thank you to them. Huge thank you to them. I know it's a big deal to be able to split these hairs, right? As we pass it off to them at 4. But I think it's really important to acknowledge that and say, Abomb has been reporting on the daily happenings for 10KTF since day one and done an incredible job with it. So working the LARP into what they're doing, and see Modest and Abomb get called up onto the space with Carl at the end of the show, like to LARP about the drop of the video live. Fucking incredible, y'all. Shout out to the team on that. Keep building in. It's not just about the damn show, right? It's about the whole community. And so I never want to forget those pieces.
I was actually going to bring that up next.
Yeah, we have to talk about that, obviously. The final part of the space.
Exactly.
That was incredible.
That was a very unexpected and hilarious thing to see. And it was nice to see that what Modest and Abomb really care about, LARPing and playing characters, for them to get the opportunity to do that on a stage that was this massive space with Beeple and Figge playing into that, and then having their own video from their perspective with the headlamps on, right? So for the people that missed it, let me set it up real quickly. In the Discord, while the space was ongoing, at about maybe 2:30, we saw When Moon logged on, and everybody was going nuts. And then when Moon asked for bad reporters and New Tokyo because she had something that she wanted to show them, and then was like, where's Modest and Abomb? And so that turned into like copy pasta around Modest and Abomb. And then they got these roles in Discord, 10KTFM reporters, and then they disappeared from the Discord, and people were like, where did they go? Where did they go? Where did they go? And then on the space, while we had just gone on stage to ask our questions, just before that, Carl mentioned, oh, hold on, I'm getting word that there's some bad reporters from New Tokyo that are going to be coming up on stage as well. Okay, we'll get back to them later on. Cool. Okay. So we ask our questions, and then we see Abomb and Modest up on stage, and that's when the LARPing began, where they open up their mics and they take off their bags. They're like, oh, we had bags on our head. Like, where are we? Hold on, what's going on? And Figge's like, guys, focus. Do you see anything? And at the same time, the 10KTF account tweeted a new 15-second video. And so that video was pinned to the top of the space. And if you watch it alongside listening to the space, it's essentially Abomb and Modest being taken in a van, getting a bag put on their head by Wen Moon, and then dropped off at a location where they'll look up and see the mech. And so the end of this space was really funny because Figge rugged it as well, even though he said he's not going to rug the announcement, which was Thursday is going to be on a Friday for the first time for the mech battle on the 16th. He still had to rug in some way, and so the space ended very abruptly right at 3. Because I forget exactly what happened, but Figge's like, we just got to end this right now. And it was just like a really funny way to see two characters in their own right, Modest and Abomb, playing a character of bad reporters along with Figge, and that back and forth and of discovering a mech and being excited by it, but then being disappointed because it looks kind of old. And so maybe you were on stage for that as well. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
It was incredible. It was incredible. I really don't know what to say. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Because the way that they performed it, it was like super high level. I don't know what to say. It was awesome. So the fact that's why Figge said Thursday is going to start early this week. It was not only because they were going to talk about 10KTF in their, like, just a normal way of just explaining about the project and stuff. No, actually the weekly episode of the storyline was gonna happen then. And that was like another incredible thing. And again, the fact that they included community members that have been so important in all these months, that they put so much work and so much passion into it. That's another moment like that. We can say that this team is incredible, and giving them all that space and that moment to show how good they are, because they really killed it. Like, I loved it so much.
They're good. Was there anything else in the space that stood out to you guys? Maybe Diamond?
Figge being a fucking optimist and Beeple being a fucking pessimist. Like Figge, like the way Figge irons shit out for everything, right? Like the amount Beeple knows about 10KTF too is fucking impressive. Like this dude is in tune with this fucking project, right? Like where I wasn't. I mean, we've all had our questions, right? Like even for Guy Osiri, with the Tare follow. Guy, we're still waiting for the Neta follow. What the fuck, man? Come on.
And next time I prepare a sign and I write, Guy Osiri, please follow me. I'm gonna start this thing. I'm gonna start
at the Gam Live, holding your sign and be like, if we can't get a follow now, it's never gonna fucking happen,
I'm gonna prepare.
No, look, Guy is gonna follow all of us when we are talent under Guy Osiri. So we don't need to make signs. It's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen.
I'm not gonna lie. Hey, Figge live on the chat was like, y'all, everyone in here should follow Diamond Hands, and I just fucking looked at Beeple like. He fucking said,
what about you?
I'm watching my fucking follows. It's not you. It's 100 other motherfuckers in here following me, but it ain't fucking the one that I'm looking for, bud.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Just the eye emoji. If you could do a Twitter reaction eye emoji and Beeple's right next to you, you're just eye emojiing him.
If I could have poked Beeple live in this space, I would have poked him one time.
You just see like a poke emoji go from Diamond to Beeple. Like, hey.
Beeple, did you hear what Figge said?
Did you
He
hear
said
what he
you should
said?
follow this motherfucker.
And so the next thing I want to move into is Warm Wallet. So
Mhm.
we saw for the first time Figge on Space, and he talked a lot about Warm Wallet. And he talked about how it's a decentralized, it's a smart contract, it's code that's audited, and it'll eventually be community owned, and it'll live well past we knew as a company because it's on the Ethereum blockchain. And it was a really interesting, premise, and what he talked about with the technology. And I didn't fully connect I didn't fully connect with why there was such an emphasis on all of the points until I realized that 2 weeks ago, TokenProof, which all of us use TokenProof to get into events at NFT NYC, they launched their own version of online verification called online authentication. And it's solving the exact same problem where instead of worrying about your assets by connecting directly with your wallet that holds them, you can now have a proxy that you connect to verify your assets safely without the risk of exposing them to scam sites. But how Warm We Need Solution and Token Proof Solution online authentication approaches that same problem is very different. Warm is decentralized. The code is totally open sourced. Anybody can use it. Anybody can launch their own website that allows people to connect wallets via Warm, and then anybody can implement it. What Token Proof is doing is it's a very Web 2 way of thinking about online authentication, where you have to use the Token Proof app, and only approved projects that they deem that they're going to support get added to the registry. And so how it would work is you would connect, instead of connecting your wallet directly to a website, you would connect with Token Proof, go to the app, scan a QR code, pick a wallet, and then it'll verify through that if you own like a doodle, so that you can buy something at the shop or not, instead of connecting with my MetaMask that has my doodle. So
Mhm.
when I think about this, the space and some of the things Figgy said makes a lot more sense now with that added context, because Figgy talked about how, when you could have done this in a Web 2 way where it's proprietary software, they get a bunch of users onboarded, and then, they can monetize that data in some way down the road. But they chose not to. They chose to go fully Web 3 and decentralize this. And they're not decentralization maxis, but they felt that this was the best way to do it. And I spoke about this on a Twitter space a couple days ago, but when I see both of these solutions play out to the nth degree, go 10 years in the future, which one do I think leads to a better Web3 future? Is it the one where it's a Web2 solution, relies on a company, they have their proprietary database, and it requires them to use their app, and you don't know what's happening with that data on the back end, and only they decide who can be an approved project? Or is it the one that is a community resource that anybody can use, anybody can implement into, and it'll be living forever, well past we knew if it exists as a company 10, 20 years from now? And to me, the answer is obvious. I think it's the latter. I also think that the online authentication with token proof, it's a little bit more cumbersome, because I can't just go to a website, let's say a Doodle store, and
Mhm.
connect and start purchasing. I have to connect with token proof. I have to pull up my phone, go to their app, scan a QR code, pick the wallet that has my doodle, and then a few seconds later it says, hey, you're all good, we can see you own a doodle. Whereas with something like Warm, if it's implemented into the doodle shop, I just connect with my hot wallet that isn't holding the doodle, but it's because it's connected to Warm, to with my cold wallet, boom, I'm in. And I think the latter is much more natural and much more better user experience. And so I think at the end of the day, the better user experience is going to win. So those are some of the thoughts that I had about token proof and Warm, and I'm going to be writing like a full breakdown of that over the next couple of days. I wanted to ask, maybe let's start with you, if you had any thoughts about Warm, and then what you think about the token proof solution for the same problem.
Okay, so regarding token proof, I know that they had a good amount of problems going on during the last events. Not to put any shade of that on them, probably they worked them out. But yeah, we had some problems getting into the events using that app. So we were a bit, we made a mess to connect and everything, and then it doesn't work. That was my experience, at least during the last events. And with Warm, there is one thing, like besides the fact that I agree with everything you said, but let's add that extra step regarding how we used Warm in 10KTF. So I used it in that way. I connected a new wallet that I created that had a WowG to the wallet of a friend that it was able to use that OG in their loadout in Battletown. And that was so easy and, trustless, even if it was someone that I actually trust. But we said, okay, let's go the warm route, even if I would have, it would been okay just sending them the NFT. But we said, okay, let's test it, let's do it. And it worked perfectly. I just sent my WowG to a new hot wallet that was of my possession, and then connected to their wallet, and they were able to use it. So this is something that it's so important for like us, at least in 10KTF, for what we're doing right now, but that's very, very limiting. Obviously there are a million other applications that this warm wallet can have, and it's great that once again the warm wallet, it's not only your way to just enter in a website. Okay, I just want to enter this website. No, it's another way to make the community feel more connected, make the community make it easier for the community to actually share things, to have relationships. Because when you share something with someone, even if it's just an NFT through Warm, you're already starting a first step in a sort of relationship. And it happens also when it's people that come out of nowhere and they say, guys, I need a wow, I need this NFT, can someone share? And many times it happens that it's someone you never talked to before. It's maybe the first interaction that you have with that person. So I don't know, from a community standpoint, it's like very interesting also to see how Warm can create even more interactions and make us feel even closer with each other. So yeah, that was what interested me in all of this, besides what you said, obviously.
Yeah. Diamond, did you have any thoughts about that?
Just like what maybe just said, like, so I've got Pandora the Bramble, right? I got a wizard, Swilson's wizard, in my wallet right now. Love you, Swilson. But like, she sent that asset. We've traditionally shared assets in 10KTF, right? We got a fam like that. Like, I don't know if other communities are doing it like that, but that's how we've always gotten down. That's how we all make sure that we all make it, right? And so when someone needed a PFP to mint their Gucci Grail, right? Like, people had extra PFPs when we needed to do the work to do our materials and tools to build our blanks. Like, we all get down like this, right? And hopefully this can become more of a norm in the culture, instead of people building those higher fences, building longer tables, right? And that's something that we have always done at 10KTF. And shout out to the team, like they said on the space, they're not decentralization maxis, right? But like, I think what you said, Atare, about this tying into like, which would you rather choose? This Web 2 form that's more of a centralized entity that, obviously they can do some different stuff with that. It offers for different revenue streams, different opportunities within the market, right? But with this decentralized Warm, like, it's like the market's going to be what it's going to be. We trust in the long term here. Let's put a quality product out to support the community as a whole, right? And like, what a good name will do for you compared to a big bag, right? And I think that going with the good name in 10KTF, where like the quality of professionals, once again, working behind the scenes, the consciousness of the team, and like Netta said, the different use cases of the Warm wallet that we still haven't discovered. We talk about the shareability aspect, but one thing I've been thinking about is like what this means for the possibilities of like onboarding to the masses and tapping into our mobile wallets, right? Like, no one wants to link I don't want to link any assets through my mobile wallet on anything ever, right? But with a Warm wallet, a separate connection to be able to connect my assets to live games that are going on through my phone. Say I'm at work and I can't get to my laptop, but you know what? Through this Warm wallet, I can tap in and not have to risk everything in my fucking hot wallet and my MetaMask right now, or in my GameStop wallet. I am trying to function as heavy as I can, right? Shout out to the crew. But that being said, whatever wallet you're working through, not risking those assets. And we know that 10KTF is working on mobile aspect of Battle.town right now. I think that when we want to talk about mass adoption and cultural saturation, like looking at how fast PUBG took off, right? For the mobile, like some of these mobile applications, how quickly they can move. It's one aspect that's really, looking at a hyper ramp of an onboard, and it's something I've got my fingers crossed towards, and hopefully the team's looking at that too.
Yeah. I also want to mention that I think if I look at Warm and TokenProof, when I look at both of them in terms of, in my opinion, they're competing for a standard, let's call it. I think that Warm does have an uphill battle, even though I actually do think it's a superior solution from the actual solution itself and the usability aspect, the user experience of it. Because when you have a corporation like TokenProof behind a solution that's signing up partners, they're way more incentivized to try to get more and more people onboarded, because there's probably some monetary component to that, whether it's just having the TokenProof brand on another website that brings in more revenue in terms of like customers because they find out about it, or if there's actually monetization streams when it comes to their ticketing solution. And so I do think that in the short term, we are probably going to see much more token-proof online authentication. But I think, like we've seen with how things went down when we look at Celsius was a lending platform, or like a yield platform, where you could deposit your Ethereum and Bitcoin and earn yield. So get like, I think it was 5% APY, or you could put your assets in a decentralized solution like Uniswap and earn yield that way. When the market shakeout happened in May, all the centralized solutions went insolvent. Celsius is now bankrupt. The decentralized solutions totally held up. And so I'm not saying that TokenProof is going to go bankrupt or anything like that. What I'm saying is that we saw that, at least with some use cases, centralized solutions were much more prone to failure than the decentralized solutions that live on the cloud, that will exist regardless of if there's a company behind it or not. And so if I view it through that lens as well, I feel like the long-term solution here will be Warm. Because if in 5 years from now, let's say TokenProof either goes insolvent or they get bought out, maybe they don't want to keep continuing to funding this specific feature. Maybe there's not a lot of revenue tied to it. Maybe there's a lot of bugs, and they eventually stop giving it as much attention. There's just a lot more, I think, upkeep with something like that versus a decentralized solution like Warm or like Uniswap, where it exists and there's a team that is going to improve it with new iterations and versions. But once it's solid and it's going to be there. So I do want to see a world with more Warm, and I'm sure there's space for both solutions. But that's how I see it if I bring my Web 2 and Web 3 brain together and break it down.
Market adoption aspects make sense for sure, especially looking at the sheer numbers of things, right? But also understanding like TokenProof's onboard is a lot larger. Like for what WeNew's doing with 10KTF right now, for them to design this wallet with the select community they already have, which is functioning at maybe 7,000-10,000 people when we look across all projects within the 10KTF ecosystem. It's not a huge amount of numbers. So I agree with what you're saying for the short term for sure. But I also look forward to like seeing some of the future partnerships and the links that can grow for 10KTF. Like we haven't really tapped into those real life experiences with the Universal Music Group or with IMG, right? And then looking at the possibility, y'all, I've still got my fingers on that, like Immutable X GameStop linking up with 10KTF and like that Warm wallet link. I'm sending the Warm wallet to my homies at GameStop for sure. The devs over there working on GameStop NFT, having them check it out and look for opportunities to onboard there, just because that's how we can continue to build, right? It's not about the either or, it's about the and with this, right? And so if it works out, if it doesn't, whatever it is, right? I would hate for them to miss the opportunity to put those eyes on. And for people out there that might have connections to people that are working in the space, like 10KTF put out an open call to send this out in the test phases. And so good on them for operating in the public, right? At a time where a lot of things are being kept in the back closets of stuff until you roll out your marketplace. You're not talking about it, right? They're out here building in public, talking about what they're doing and asking for a peer review from the public itself. Like talk about like building in like egalitarian modes into Web3. Like that's as decentralized as you can get. You got to put a lot of trust out there in the community to be able to do that. So shout out to the team on that.
And I know that Quit, who is big in the NFT security space, he was involved in this, whether it was from like a consultant standpoint or testing security. So it really is a community effort, and I want to help. I want to see it succeed, because I do think that it's a really, really good solution. I've used it and I've loved the ease of it and the peace of mind of having my assets locked away in cold and still being able to load out with my mutant on Battletown with my hot wallet. So enjoying that. Let's move next into
just real quick. I think one area like covering the gap in knowledge, like for me, like I've looked at Warm. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm obviously on the damn show, right? So like there's still knowledge gaps in between our community levels too, right? So just making sure that that video you did, Atari, I haven't had the chance to go check it out. I've been real busy IRL, but like those community pieces of putting out that content to be able to make sure that people understand the tech, you know, for people like me that like I might be a public face out here talking about 10KTF, but I don't know much about the technological aspects, right? And so to be able to watch that video, have that content as someone who's knowledgeable, right? Trusted resources like Quit. Like you're a trusted resource for me, Atari. Always have been since the original Etherscan U that we ran. Right? So like there's
which is close to a year ago now. Which does that blow your mind or what?
You know, like absolutely freaking crazy. But like what insane, y'all, I doxed myself. I didn't even know that like NFT Twitter was anon like that and shit. So I just I show up to Atari's stream, just hey everybody, what's going on? And no one else was fucking other than Atari. No one else. Everyone else had their cameras off, and I'm just sitting there looking like a fucking dweeb with my bong in my hand, like I'm gonna learn some shit about Etherscan today. Right on.
That's funny. Oh, that's so
good.
That
was cool. I remember the only thing I said was like bye at the end. I didn't talk at all.
And do you, I still like that Beeple appearance. I'm still side-eyeing that Beeple, you know, side-eyeing Beeple from Etherscan U.
That was a classic,
But the team obviously knew it was happening, you know. It wasn't an accident to them by any means. So like for whatever that is, like we know the team keeps an eye on what all our community's doing. And shout out to you for holding it down as the OG, making sure we're all informed with the knowledge that we need to be. Appreciate you, friend.
You can count on me. As long as there's new technology and things to explain, Professor Atari will be here to to help in whatever ways that I can.
I even have the sweatshirt, so I'm into DJ University.
DJ University.
I got in 1 year ago, so
Let's speaking of DJ University, Figge talked about dynamic NFTs on this stream. If you go to March of this year, or even February, I have a video on DJ University. That's the title is Dynamic NFTs Are the Future. So I want to talk about that. I think that I made this point on a separate Twitter space, or maybe it was a live stream. Early on in 2021, there was a project that literally rugged people in terms of the art that they got. So they sold a bunch of art and people bought the NFTs. And then maybe a few months or a few weeks later, they switched the art. They changed the IPFS so that the art changed to like pictures of rugs. And it was a social experiment demonstrating to people that if your metadata is not frozen, then you're not actually buying the art. You're just buying, you're buying a token, and people can, people can change the art at any time. And so that's why a lot of projects that launched last year, especially spring, summer, all were like, we have frozen the metadata for their NFTs because of that, concern. But it was more out of like a defensive position rather than this is good for the NFT project itself. You notice that 10KTF since September never froze their metadata, and even went as far as sometimes changing the metadata for the better, in some cases introducing some NFTs. If they didn't have like an ultra rare or like an epic, they created them after the fact. And so where dynamic NFTs come in is that it really is a much more native use of the technology, because if the first use of the internet was taking things that are physical, like a flyer or like a menu, and putting it on the internet and saying, oh, check out our menu, it's on the internet, in like 1999, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. But so it's like it's the flyer that I have physically in my hand, but just on the internet. What's the difference? It's just ease of access is the difference. But we obviously know that the internet is much more dynamic than just taking static things and putting it on the internet. It's email, it's communication, it's social. There's a layer of interactivity. We can do this live stream through the internet. Dynamic NFTs is the same lens for the future, and we don't know what the use cases are, in the same way that in 2001 we didn't know that the internet would lead to me pushing a button on my phone and then a car shows up. We had no idea that was possible. We don't know what the possible use cases of dynamic NFTs are even to this day. It's just going to be a matter of experimentation and going forward. And I think that frozen NFTs or like NFTs with their metadata frozen are really going to be looked at as like a relic of the past of, oh yeah, that's what people did with NFTs very early on when they didn't understand its technological capability, in the same way that when people didn't understand the implications of the internet, they took flyers and put it on the internet. So that's my piece on dynamic NFTs. Did maybe Neda, you brought it up. Did you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I like listened to what Figge said. It was like, yeah, of course, there is some concern related to the fact that metadata is changed, and maybe your NFT could have a lower value or whatever. It can change how the NFT is perceived or whatever you own. But we always have to think about which one is the company that is actually releasing these NFTs. What's the project? Like, do you trust the team? Do you trust who's doing this? Because obviously, if I own an NFT from Winu Labs, from 10KTF, and then during the story, they end up changing some of the metadata because it makes sense in the story or whatever they are creating, they will never do something to reduce value on our NFTs. At least, that's exactly what Figge said. It was like, we don't think that frozen NFT is what what NFTs are for, or at least not in their project. But this doesn't mean that a change in the metadata in the future is going to reduce the value of your NFT. Everything has to be done with a purpose, with reasonment. And we know that they do everything with reasonment. So yeah, once again, it goes back to, who do you trust? Who are the people that created those NFTs that you own? What's the team behind? So that's what I think about all of this. There are the rugs, and there are the teams that are building, that they are creating. So obviously I'm happy that these NFTs are not frozen, because I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with it, what's gonna happen when they're gonna change something, why they're changing it, what, my experience is gonna be even more, there's gonna be even more surprises, and I love surprises. So especially the good ones.
Actually, just a quick piece on that. We saw it with VFriends, where that was dropped in May of 2021. They didn't freeze the metadata, and then when VFriends Series 2 came out, they updated the art of the original VFriends from the drawings that Gary Vee made to more higher fidelity drawings by an artist that represented, like, let's say, a caterpillar. While initially it was like literally like a marker drawing of a caterpillar, it then evolved into a much more illustrious caterpillar. And so that metadata is not going to be frozen, and you're going to see the continual updating of that, which really is the using the technology in a much more native way than out of anxiety of like, well, we want to tell everybody we're not going to rug them, so let's freeze it and put it in stone. Diamond, did you have any thoughts?
Like Neda said, I mean, it's in a decentralized world, it's all about trust out here, right? Like,
it really is, yeah.
Trustless all the time, right? But like, you better know where your fucking true north is then, if you're going out here just shooting willy-nilly into the dark. And the quality of team, the quality of community, there's different levels to this about how we can, I think, we define value, right? And I think that's a larger conversation to be had within this, looking at the decentralized apps, the importance of them. We saw the Oni mask when the team made us update the metadata, right? We all had to update post first crafted. When we started crafting, that update that they made sure we all did the Discord announcement. And then when that happened, they slipped out some masks that shifted form from kitsune masks to like military war style masks. Looks like it came out of fucking Call of Duty or something. We were all big on, what was it? We were all hyped about, what was the show? Arcane. We were all on our like Arcane, deep in our Arcane vibes back then, which Figge did tweet about Arcane winning the Emmy the other day. Like, Arcane's still on the fucking menu, folks. At least I hope it is, right? What an incredible opportunity for a possible partnership, knowing the historical connections between the possible team and the team that works at League of Legends, right? So yeah, for whatever that is, we've got our eyes on a few different speculations that move. But back to the dynamic NFT conversation, we saw that metadata update for the Onis, for the masks. So we've known, kind of like peeking around what was going on there, to hear it solidified in real time on that space, knowing that Human One's a dynamic NFT, and that's intentional. Beeple came out and talked about that in depth. about, yeah, this is the first iteration, but like looking at what NFTs can be into the future, this project will continue to update. Human One will continue to change as, what is it, you know, when the war in Ukraine busted out, that background went there, all of a sudden it's a blue and a gold background and blue and gold wristbands, right, to show support for what was going on in the war, which like to see that be a first update, let's fucking go, people, you know. And shout out to Ryan Zer, who holds Human One. But for the metadata update, I think the future use cases, that's the biggest piece that we're not considering right now. Looking at like, so considering value as well. House, that's one thing I've been kind of diving into the backside of NFT research and looking at, you know, houses as NFTs, the house deed. Like, you wouldn't know that someone painted your house, you know, let's say Beeple used to own the fucking house that I live in right here, right? And Beeple paints his house in 2022, right? Painted it this year, right? One, you wouldn't know, historically, you may know that Beeple is the owner of the house, but you wouldn't know the changes that Beeple did to the house himself, what wall he painted, what he was doing in the house, right? With NFTs as a house, as a deed statement, right? Whatever gets worked on in the house from the person that worked on it on that time is now frozen in the metadata, right? Like it's in the history of the NFT. And so just as far as future applications, so there wouldn't be value in if it wasn't Beeple that painted it, right? Quote unquote. Right. But like, we can talk about these measures of value and like, is it monetary? Or is it an interpersonal piece of value to you? Right. Or is it just value for the moment of the home? Like, does it increase the value of the home, but not the NFT? So different aspect and value classes that can continue to rise from just the tracking. That's just from the track and trace of what can be done on the blockchain, and seeing some of the patents that are happening right now with blockchain technology and track and trace, knowing that in pharmaceuticals, track and trace is a huge moment, having a huge moment as far as issues in the actual distribution of pharmaceuticals. But blockchain technology, there's a patent for that got filed last year. I think there's some things coming our way where we continue to look at the collector value of the NFTs that we hold. But I think that the larger market will decide when these really start to take larger saturation for us. And seeing these use cases and asset classes as SEC and Gary Gensler and FTX and SEC are talking about trying to build, or the DTCC trying to build alternative stock measures for the stock market and what's going on there. Like, there's some things going on in the larger business world, y'all, that we're just working on NFTs and games right now. But just know there's some shit happening where I really think it's going to disrupt the larger space when we're not even ready for it. It'll just come blink of an eye. And I think Carl or someone on the space might have mentioned that, or Figge, you know, when mass adoption takes place, we're not going to recognize that it's going on. It's just going to happen. Right. Yeah. And there'll be some of us that have been out here pushing the needle, trying to let people know, get into NFTs, y'all. But like, the market's going to decide all that. And kudos to everyone out there that's trying to do that work in the meantime, you know. And hey, maybe it'll be the damn show that like takes off for mass adoption, right? Who knows, right? Maybe the We New team is like, you know what, they were our captains and we're just going to fucking send them. And this is how we're going to meet mass adoption, with the damn show.
The damn show.
Right, we're gonna do the damn thing out here. And
goodbye, good morning, America. Hello, damn show.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go. Tune in and get your new Tokyo news every morning. We're doing it out here.
Every morning with Alpha.
Yeah. So there's a couple more things I want to talk about from that Twitter space, because this is the Twitter space episode. On the Twitter space, Carl was gracious enough to let the damn show, because the damn was responsible for his comeback. You're welcome, Carl. Thank us later.
Amazing oath. We have to say it. It was like chef kiss. That was amazing.
So good. You can tell the moment where he turns it on, from just talking to like, I'm now a host, and you can feel the energy. And Carl is incredible. So man, so well done. We love what you do, and we can't wait to hear more of those spaces. And I'm learning from you, Carl. Like, I listen to those and I'm studying how you are so that I can one day be as good as you, Carl. But you were gracious enough to get us on stage, and I asked the question about the IRL space that Beeple is working on in Carolina. Beeple has a new space in South Carolina, in Charleston, and what we know of it so far is that it's a massive space. It will be used for events and likely art galleries, NFT events, and there's going to be a lot of projections. He said something about, if you saw the projections that I put up today, your mind would be blown. And when I hear him say that, I think about what he did for Elon Musk at the Gigafactory, where he had a lot of projections and illustrations, and I imagined Figge and the Possible team was also involved in that as well. And so the other comment that people mentioned was that it's a space that, you know, people can dress up at, and he felt that a lot of the NFT events started to turn into like kind of corporate events where it's like you get a DJ, you get a bar, you get get some decorations, give a dance floor, and then you let it happen, versus much more immersive things that like we knew and 10KTF is doing. And so I just think about the possibilities of that space, because now you have a co-founder owning a space instead of you having to rent something in Brooklyn. You just have that much more flexibility with what you can do with that space because it is owned, and it'll be a hub for NFTs, and I think a spot for culture where culture will start to get created around NFTs. So I am so pumped about just everything Beeple is working on, and I love that when he starts doing more media appearances, because you know something big is coming. And so
Yeah.
we don't know the timeline for that, but we know that it is coming. Diamond Hands, let's start with you. What are your thoughts and feelings about the South Carolina Charleston space?
Let's fucking go. I can't wait to grab Beeple's ass in South Carolina. I'm gonna cup it so tight. I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna tell
That
him, hey, good game, people. It's been a great game, Beep. Attaboy. Fucking keep doing it, bud. That's what I'm gonna tell him. No, but seriously, Beeple's brother, you know, former engineer at Boeing, you know, they're crafting that space together out there. Like you just said, whatever they did out for the Gigafactory event with Tesla, like Figge was out there too. Figge got to meet Elon Musk out there, right? And like that's why we're like these fucking flamethrowers.
Yeah.
Right? Like the boring flamethrower connection here, right? Like it's not, and that's what's crazy to me. Like I'm no longer 3 prongs removed from Elon Musk. Like if I need to get a hold of Figge, right? Like Figge's on fucking dial. Like Figge's the homie now, right?
The
like,
Figge phone.
That's fucking mind-blowing to me. Like just even that factor, right? But into the larger, like what's going on at the space, y'all, we knew, y'all, a 25 by 20 fucking basketball court. It's 500 square feet. That's all I need. All right. One little fucking half court. Let us get out there and shoot some threes while we hang out. Get us some fucking 10KTF jerseys, right? And then whatever parent PFP crew you represent, right? Like that's the team that you play for, right? Like, and so we'll have the WoW team out there. We'll have the Mutant, the Bored Ape Yacht Club team. I think there's some cool shit we could do just sports wise to like create a little fun competition within our community and give us something to do outside of the music. Talk about an immersive experience, right? Or if y'all got like an outdoor set of grass, I was thinking a little flag football, you know, keep it all co-ed, right? Everything's co-ed for everybody, right? A little flag football, maybe a little soccer if y'all got a little grass. I'm just saying, like these sports events, y'all, can we get the friendly competitive sports events worked in, even if it's fucking bowling? What is it? That thing that where they throw the bean bag toss. What is it? Cornhole. Everyone's doing cornhole at parties these days, right? Like build us some of these experiences so I can kick some ass out there and have a little fun. I mean, not that, you know, it's all fun, but like I will kick everyone's ass. Whoever I'm playing, I'm not going to lose to off top. So just so you know, Diamond Hands will be taking home the championship. Whatever it is, whatever they got for an award, Diamond Hands team's going home with it, y'all.
Diamond, I can tell you, if it's bowling, Tina and Alf got to see it firsthand. I'm not bad. I don't play that often, but when I do, I can turn it on. I can turn it on, baby. I have a story.
Competitions on.
I make sure that my back foot wraps. Like, hey, I look like I'm Woody Harrelson out there.
Diamond.
I'm telling you.
Diamond. I'll tell you this full story off camera, but it is a story of magic that happened in Brooklyn. Tina and Alf will be the first to tell you. They're like, I don't know how Atari did it, but he did it. It was magical. It was a magical bowling night. So just watch out.
Bumper lanes don't count, friend. I gotta tell you.
5-pin bowling, little balls.
No, but as far as the opportunities for experiences, they're wide open, right? And I think that's the beauty of this, the decentralization of the project, and how even us as a community, we get to create these ideas. The team decides whether they want to run with it or not. And that deals with our speculation and what we do in the project and with our IRL events, right? They get to pick and choose from all these great ideas that so many of us have along the way, right? Like, it's not just me and the sports idea. There's so many different things that have been picked up along the fucking journey. And I really think that's the beauty of all this. So keep coming up with these wild ideas. There might not be any sports. I'll be totally okay with that, right? But if it does happen, talk about me going fucking crazy in the corner.
Let's go. Maybe. Excitement, thoughts?
Excitement, obviously. Oh my God. You know, I try to go everywhere whenever there is anything happening in the NFT space. And thinking about, like, recently I've been thinking about Econ and the fact that it was in Minnesota and Minneapolis, like a place that probably would have never gone my whole life if it wasn't for that. So whenever they put this place, so the fact that it's in South Carolina and Charleston, also a place that I don't know if I would have ever, you know, visited, or I don't know, maybe. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's the point. It doesn't matter wherever it is, because people are gonna travel for it.
Yeah.
I saw thousands of people traveling to Minneapolis to get to VCon, and I don't see Beeple 10KTF being any less than VFriends. Like, for as much of VFriends is cool, yeah, Gary V, okay, but you know, Beeple 10KTF, the culture, how much we care about this project, how much we care about Beeple. So there's a ton of fans of Beeple. So that place is gonna be packed for as big as they made it. It will never be enough big for all the people that want to go, I'm sure. So I can't wait to get my little invitation and get there to the door. Hello, I'm here. Can I get in? Because it's gonna be crazy.
Knock on the portal, like, hello.
Hello.
Hey, let me in.
Just the thought of a Beeple invitation, though, like an invitation to Beeple's, like a Beeple's, like, this is his home, basically. It's his digital art home, right? Yeah, like, what a fucking crazy, mind-blowing idea for not being an NFT on social media a year ago to like an invitation from Beeple, right? But like, it's a project that I trust in, that I love so much, and like somehow these beautiful experiences and opportunity are just growing out of like the genuine wanting to be there. Like, I like you're saying that you go to fucking everything. Like, you flew in to London, right, just to stop in to a 10KTF event. Like, and how important those experiences are. Like, if you haven't got to attend an IRL and know what it is to like give a hug, to be able to share a moment IRL away from this digital medium, it really is next level. And you don't have to dox yourself to do it, right? I don't know. For me, that's fucking crazy. And I'll be there for sure, hanging out in the back of the corner, whatever fuck's going on, shaking my mullet, partying it on. But like the fact that we're being invited into Beeple, I mean, it's his home. You know, what he's built to be his home there, his digital art for what it is, his museum. That's something special, you know, and it speaks to the quality of professionals that work on this project, right? The fact that they can be like, no, everyone else in NFTs wishes they could be in the presence of Beeple. Let's send our holders an invite to Beeple's museum, a custom one. That's utility. There's value in that.
I think about that, and I'm so inspired by the builders that we get to be around and see them execute on their vision. And for me, it always comes back to just getting into that zone as well of our space where we can be those builders that execute, and one day people will be like, damn, like, how did they do it? Do you know what I mean? Because it's I don't know, I love excellence in anything. When I see people executing and doing great things, it inspires me to want to do that as well, and be able to, you know, help build out the world that you want to see. And so yeah, it's just it's humbling, and it's I'm grateful, and I'm, you know, it's cool to see that play out. So yeah.
And for people, like, what a better opportunity for him to bridge his IRL with his digital world, right? Like, he knows our honor, our ethos, how we all get down. We're just coming to show love. We're not gonna fuck up Charleston too bad. Like, I don't know, I might get kind of crazy. Y'all see me in New York, right? No, I really wasn't doing too much, but I think that's a really beautiful thing. Like, we're gonna sell out Charleston's fucking hotel rooms that night, right? Like, we're gonna go out into the community and be talking about Beeple and representing our dude in a way that really speaks volumes for him and his local community there in Charleston, right? That's that reciprocity, that it's the buzzword synergy. That's the synergy that builds, right? And that's a great opportunity for him and for us, right?
Yeah.
That's the cool shit of Web3 that we really haven't got to tap into yet.
I wanted to talk about Punk6529, and he had a tweet where he said NFTs are entertainment, and it was more fun for him to shop NFTs with his friends across the world in this global marketplace than it was to watch Netflix. And because he was having much more fun doing that. And when you think about that, when you think about what 10KTF is doing and what the damn show is actually doing, that's our thesis right there, that this is a form of entertainment that eclipses any other form in terms of the capacity for it to captivate people. Because not only do you have your own asset at stake, you're involved in it. It's an active participation. It's a story that plays out with your assets that have market dynamics that increase and decrease in value. And so when you look at NFT projects from that lens, you can understand that every NFT project needs to have media around it, and that's what the damn show actually is. And so when I saw that tweet, I'm like, oh yeah, this is exactly what's happening with 10KTF and the damn show. NFTs are entertainment. It's not necessarily about number go up, while that's a part of it, and people will always glom onto that, which is what Hype Cycle and what the past couple of years are about. The fundamental shift that's happening here is that entertainment layer. And so you can see why there is so much interest in 10KTF, because they're tapping into that show, that thesis, that in the future you're not just going to passively watch, consume content. You're going to be actively engaged and have something at stake in it. When you have something at stake on something, you're going to be just much more involved and interested in it. So I thought that was so fascinating, and I left a little comment under him to plug 10KTF and the damn show, because that's exactly what we're doing here. We're complementing the entertainment that is 10KTF with our own entertainment layer.
True.
Yeah, and he spoke to that a bit, like talking about the trust and support that they give us as a community. I mean, it's an incredible amount, right? I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar entity, and they got a bunch of fucking yoo-hoos out here talking about whatever the fuck on speculating the avenue, right? On whatever we're doing, right? Like Damn Show, New Tokyo News, Speculation Avenue, 10KTFM, all these different outlets of speculation, which all of us can't be fucking right? But we all have fun in the journey. We all enjoy the journey. None of us take this shit so serious that like this is life and death to us right now, right? Where like in the middle of the bear market, it's nice to have this outlet, right? To be able to create content like the way 10KTF has pushed me with the captain's journey or whatever it was, the competition we did. Like, y'all, I don't make music. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I was able to like figure out a song, right? Tap in with community, get that worked out professionally, right? And like the infographics, like streaming, y'all. I would not be fucking streaming jack shit if it wasn't for the damn show and my homies Atara and Netta. Like, I don't give a fuck about doing any of this, right? But like, because I know I've got community, because I know people show up to watch, right? People, I'm helping folks, right? Like, that gives me the piece to say, you know what, whatever the fuck this is, I'm going to keep on getting down, even if I'm not quote unquote comfortable in it, right? And I think that's the real beauty of this is the team's inspiring people to get out here and try shit that they wouldn't have otherwise, right? And maybe that's just NFTs. Maybe that's just getting into NFTs because you heard it was a cool community. Or maybe it's you out here creating content yourself. I think that's the beauty of the decentralized web where the team's adding value to us in multiple ways, right? Like, it's not all about the monetary aspect. And that's so important to keep in mind, right? Like, these little shout outs in the lore, the captainship, 10KTFM getting to come up on the space, Carl hosting the space. There's so many different little threads in here. And like the team's just now tapping into the ways that they can show us multiple levels of value, where like, what an incredible job of the team, where in a space where everyone's looking for the next mint, the next drop, the next monetary opportunity, the team's out here like, no, let me bless you this way and help you build in these creative facets otherwise, right? Like, Teach a person to fish, or give a person a fish they eat for a day. Teach a person a fish they eat for a lifetime, right? And like, I'm out here learning how to fish. I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna soak up every bit of this while I can get it.
It's a revolution that I think we're all students, and sometimes teachers, but mostly students, because we're all learning on how to make it in this space, and how to make it in Web3, whatever that means for each of us individually. And I know that's probably different for every person, but when you get to do it alongside good people and great builders and just great executors, it's inspiring. I don't think I can ask for anything more than what we have going on, because it's just fuel. It's like, it's this constant, like, I want to be better, I want to do better, and I want to improve. And Diamond, you said it in the first episode, better each week. And I think collectively we have been better each week.
Yeah.
And speaking of better each week, I think we're gonna have a better week next week, because the mech is gonna be live. Mech versus Kaiju.
It can't be better than today. We're fucking recording on your birthday, friend.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't gonna be better than this. Let's be real. You know, I don't know what you got going on after.
But next week is my birthday.
But that being said, you know, the mimetic culture that we live in right now, right? Like, it's all about what we can do to like copy and replicate, right? And everyone looks at that like it's a bad thing, right? Per project to project. But like Atare, I've learned so much from you in the last few weeks just about streaming and what that is. Neto, what I've learned from you about hosting events, showing up for people in Web3, like that shit matters out here, right? Where like, yo, I'm a ghost. People hit me in the DMs. I never fucking respond. But like, y'all, I take
respond to us at least.
Respond to us. Y'all hit me up. I don't even fucking respond in the damn chat, you know? And so it's like there's little pieces along this journey, like we can grab from different people at different spots, y'all. And that's the beauty of all this, right? Is like, nobody out here knows what like a Web3 professional is right now, for whatever that is, right? But like, over time, with the support of our friends, with support of great projects, we can figure out what making it really is, you know? And then y'all know how much love I got for each of y'all. Like, this has been a beautiful fucking journey. We're gonna do some incredible things in the future.
Hell yeah. And I'm excited for the future of the goddamn mech. Let's get into it. We have a mech. It's Thursdays on a Friday for the first time this week. Also, the big Ethereum merge is on a Thursday, so it's good that the 1-year anniversary of the contract deployment for 10KTF is on the 16th. It's just funny how that worked out. But the mech is finally here. We've seen it since January. We've known that it's coming. It's time to defeat this Kaiju. What do you think is going to go down next week? I think that this is the Super Bowl of 10KTF. To me, I don't think that it's going to be a normal week. I think this is going to be whatever we've seen with the motorcade, with the shop burning. I feel like we're in for something just astronomical. I don't want to overhype it, but how can you not overhype? It's a freaking mech versus a Kaiju. We've been waiting for this.
I can't wait to see the video.
Yeah.
I know there is a video for us coming next week, and that's my favorite part. Yes.
No, and I don't mean to deflate your sales too quickly, Atare, but like, man, I think this could definitely be a rug this week. Like, for whatever it is, like, they try to power up that mech, and like, just the amount of energy, it was like a crackle and a sputter out. So I think it might be dependent on how much energy the new Tokyo Electric company can pump out. Like, that's going to take a lot of fucking power to power up that mech. So if we can bring the bats through, you know, when WAGMI needed bats for the camera, we all came through pretty tough. So, you know, maybe it'll be energy bars we got to throw out on Twitter this week, you know, but having that additional experience for us, having to back up WAGMI with swords and fucking electricity bars or whatever it is into a alternative immersion where we haven't really had that Twitter, let's go pound fucking Twitter's door down now as a crew. We haven't done that in a little bit. So I think it would be fun to jump back into some of that, but we'll see what the team has going on. And then if we can meet the level of power that we need on Twitter, well then boom, they plug us with a good video and everything fucking pops off right then, right? But maybe, I mean, not everything's such a linear journey. We've learned in WAGMI's journey recently. Not everything's so clearly defined, right? And that's what makes it fun. So if the mech gets powered up, fucking hey, let's take that Kaiju down. If not, stay ready and be willing to help however we can. Not that that's not what we do anyways.
I think that it's also going to be a multi-week thing. I think that's just going to be the beginning of the battle, or, and maybe you said this a while ago, but Figge also said it. He said this mech is just going to destroy all of New Tokyo. So remember the stream where I plugged the Ragnarok Thor video,
Yeah.
where he stabs it and he's like, the foundations are still strong, and then
And then
oh
nothing's left.
nope, the foundations are gone. So we might have to free fall to a new Tokyo, new Tokyo, in the same way it was New Asgard in Avengers. It'll be new Tokyo in the other side land. We're going to be free falling from the sky, just like how the Kodas free falls from the sky. That's going to be us.
I have a pilot helmet
I was right. Okay, I was just going to say, actually,
to fly out.
oh, guys, it just hit me. You have a pilot helmet. We know they had a pilot helmet is going to be an important thing for a reason. Last week, after the motorcade, they played the Top Gun music. When the island gets destroyed, there's going to be a massive evacuation, and we're all going to need to go on airplanes or whatever to get off the island. Boom.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Quick evac. Netta will be ready with her pilot helmet, ready to roll.
Yeah.
She'll take
I
care of
have
the
it
crew.
in real life as well, you know.
Yeah, you're double ready. When you need a pilot, you know who to call. Captain Maybe Netta. I mean, they haven't told us what kind of captains we are. Maybe we're also fighter pilots as well. I don't know if that's the same role in the Top Gun universe, if they're called captains or commanders or whatever. But who knows? We could be manning some fighter jets and some airplanes. I think it's going to be a lot of fun over the next coming weeks. I just know that it's the 10 KTF anniversary. It's the birthday. It's also maybe Netta's birthday on the 19th, and then it's Diamond Hands on the 23rd. We have a jam-packed birthday month going on. There's going to be a IRL New York event on the 23rd. So if you are in New York or in the area, come out. There's going to be karaoke. Maybe why don't you take it away? Tell us all about this thing that you got planned.
Okay, so first of all, guys, it's community organized. It's not an official event from the team, number one. So I started the organization, and then I got some help from, for example, Bob Majan. He made a crazy good flyer. So you just have to check it out. It's amazing. And yeah, we have a thread going on in Grailed, and you can just get in and have all the info. We are asking for RSVP before September 17th, so that we're sure that we have all the numbers and we can get this going. The location is a karaoke place. So we're going to get a very big karaoke room for all of us. We got open bar. We got food for $65 per person. So you can bring a +1 if you want. This all the information, exact location and time, etc. You're going to find it in the thread. And I can't wait because there's going to be some goodies from the damn show.
We can tease at least one of them right now, can't we? Right? Can we tease one?
No.
None of them. What about the
no.
bag?
One we can tease.
Okay.
We can tease.
All right. So this is an exclusive. Maybe Netta has given us the permission to tease one thing. Thank you, Maybe Netta. We are in collaboration with Board Coffee coming out with Captain's Brew. So expect that in the coming weeks. Maybe if you're at the IRL event, maybe there's going to be something in there for you as well. I can't say anything too much, but we're really excited to work with other community members and other collaborators to really create something that we think fits the ethos of 10 KTF, which is about different people coming together. And so you can expect to see that in the coffee as well. There's going to be a lot more details to come in the coming days and weeks ahead, but we're really excited to get that to you. And for the people that are attending the IRL event, a little bit extra in there for you as well. That's all I can say for now. I don't want to maybe he's going to get angry if I say any more.
RR, you better stop through and get you some of that Captain's Brew, y'all. It's going down. All right. And it's my fucking birthday. So if you don't swing through, like, what else do you have going on for real? Right. I won't be able to be there, but I am swinging through and going to do a special karaoke for everyone. All right. Like, y'all can bank on that. You know, Diamonds, it's just so good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Be like heaven to touch. If y'all want some of that action, y'all know what to fucking tune into. All right, y'all know what to do.
The damn karaoke special live in New York. That's amazing.
It's gonna be so much fun. So yeah, I can't wait for this. So many people are traveling for it. It's crazy. It's not only locals. We got a lot of people traveling for this event, and
I'm
yeah, it's
traveling for the event.
you have to travel for the event exactly. So it's Wagmi-san's birthday. So happy birthday, Wagmi-san! Can't wait to celebrate.
The 1 year of doing the damn thing with you
And
Degens.
one thing I just remembered too, we got Toys Revolution, I think Bunka Collective. They got they're doing a event in Australia as well, right? Not
Yes,
sure
we
where
got
that's
them on
going
the
down.
live.
The Australia squad is out there holding it down in Australia too, right? And like for our community, whenever you want to host one of these events, like just holler. Like I'm in California. It's a little spread out over here. It's a long state, you know, but looking forward to the day where we can throw something down in California. The LA event that like, so LA is like 13 hours driving for me. Just not something that I can really link up with the homies with, but I know we got some folks in Sacramento and the Bay Area. And so for me, I'm like, Ned is out here just inspiring me like, what? I got to get with the homies, something about holiday time. You know, we can link something up, just a quick little lunch, little dinner somewhere, low key, right? It's about these experiences that we can create with each other. The team doesn't always have to host the big damn thing, right? But keep an eye on the damn show and what we've got going on too, because Netta is going to have some pretty awesome little fucking goodies out there. And it's not just the coffee, right? I will tell you that. I want to keep it quiet, but I'm really fucking bummed I can't be out there in person because it's going to be super fly.
Well, don't worry. We're gonna get you in on another IRL event. Perhaps. Nope. I can't say too much. I don't want to say anymore.
No, don't say more.
Nope. No
People
more.
are gonna know. People are gonna know.
Saying fly so many times might have been too much alpha, huh? Oh shit! Oh, we can't say anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the damn show, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure every week. We have Diamond Hands, we have Atare, we have maybe Netta. We're so excited to do this every week for you. Just a reminder, we have the damn live on Friday this week for the Kaiju. We're also going to be doing a special live stream for the Ethereum merge on Thursday as well. So look out for both of those things. Two lives in 1 week, back to back, back to back. Proof of work to proof of stake. We got a lot going on.
Atari's going to tell everyone about the merge, and me and Netta are going to hang out and clown around and have a great time while he lets everybody know the real info. You know, I'm going to talk about POS. I'm a real POS. I can really vibe with that, you know? So
some in the chat have been asking us to get some whiskey or bourbon and do a live with that. So maybe the merge will be the first time where the dam gets a little bit of drinks on the live. Maybe we'll think about it, but we're excited to see everybody. Thank you again. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter as well. We appreciate all the support and love. We love doing this for you every week, and we can't wait to do more. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.